Me mama watching about Adom TV so adwumadie Nnawotwe adwumadie yɛbɛpa mo kyɛw sɛ ɛnɛ yɛntumi anhyɛ se ntɛm ebi ne sɛ mfidie de adwuma no ɛtɔ de bi ana ama yɛ challenges kakra nso yɛne mo ana yɛ adwuma yi memene da anɔpa bia nti we de yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ mo de bɛkyɛ yɛn na sɛ de yɛ ne de bia no mo ata yɛ chi fɛfɛɛfɛ na yɛtumi de dwumadie sɛ de ahyehyɛ so no yɛde abrɛmo na Nnawotwe mu no nsɛm bebree a na siye Tuesday ni enya yɛtete wɔn frama mu anɔpa no sɛ ɛyɛ president be take a decision bi a ɛyɛ petitions bi a nkrofo mmiɛnsa bi atwerɛ afa chief justice ho sɛ ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo yi no efi nakonya so efi sɛ ɔmo sɛ wayɛ nneɛma bi a ɛmfata sɛ ɔyɛ chief justice nipa mmiɛnsa bi emua na ewianum yɛte sɛ president in consultation with the Council of State ɔmo advice ɔmo de ama no president acte was suspended the chief justice. Not only that, but also set up a 5-member committee ɔmo be kɔ nsɛm no yɛbɛhwɛ saa asɛm no so na yɛdi ho nkɔmɔ anɔpɛ week where amuso Nnawotwe amuso health minister Echo Tamale Teaching Hospital unannounced so oko inspection wo ho na eko pie mu no na ensem no ebi anko yie ewie no videos epie ye ekire se wo hwe videos na health minister any the director of the hospital exchanges bi ba ema ewie no nanka ya ayi kakra nsem na antwa yie TV so mo amohwe news Nnawotwe mu behu se na he kakra ntawantawa kakra bi ekopie mu ewo ho na sansem ye mu no em se edu anwumre asem ne sia no pa mu nanso ebedu anwumre mu no na de akosi ne se the director of the Tamale Teaching Hospital no ministry no any aban ne se o mayi ne di na sansem we no eno so ankoyie any other medical doctors a wo Tamale Teaching Hospital omo take the session say emergency services any OPD services no omo eco strike e sa ensem no mu na mo aso no minority so ba out because say minority in parliament ba out because say the removal of the director of the Tamale Teaching Hospital no entwe yi amban amfa kwanpa so ansa na oyi no efi ho sansem ye mu no penifo ahemfo mo Tamale etu omo nan esi asem no mu enra no omo ne doctors ne ko hia Tamale Teaching Doctors Association omo no ko hia partially omo say omo withdraw omo strike no partially enti eno so no ya behwe na ya hwe se de sansem no eno so etie na Nnawotwe ya muso flag bearer of the NPP 2024 elections in the mu Dr. Baumia any mpenifo bi party mpenifo ehia mo kasafa Professor Michael Kwe report or so wagye atum findings a omo ye de ma omo lose 2024 elections no Dr. Baumia say wagye atum na assemble ko sanka ya na interesting kakra ne say onye ntumu say no sumo a owo mu no eno and the man lose ye in other Christian omo ye Christopher omo ye parliamentary candidates in other constituencies no kra no those constituencies no owini ye nti no ono nyintumu se esumo owom muslimi sumo owom no eno na ma odi nkuku 2024 abato a eba so enumu sansem no so ye be komu ye ne lawyer Adawudu or represent NDC will show you so enchebia yensabeka no wahanum se ne bedi enkomo yene Seidu Musa wahanum se anope ya yene no ebehya se Seidu net say boko me bibia boko bibia fine na ye share ache the last time I produce so no correct bene dem me host no correct pa mbojuma ami shira wonyo kese mate yes, starting with the Chief Justice and Seminole. A seminal started, near titi wo wiem senkrofo bi the petition bi akoma president na per the constitutional rules any statutes president on to me enje petition na prekope on take a decision so enti or refer assembly to the Council of State as per Syria constitution from the beginning of this particular issue up to now do you feel say due process have been followed?
Yo, nedi kan mame fa kwanya we na menchia wahwefo na menchia nana eje tete base brantu a waye ohempo a oja asikan nana ohwe usho ipa ntimigidi yese anopa yi ohwe ya usho iso nti nana pia o echi akese enko ema nana sene a metaye no menya kwanya say I preach for peace for the whole country, especially for our brothers in Boko and yenuanom a mo nkwanta me fi oti region ti nkwanta hu hia me pa oba oti region nkwanta eye kura ye frɛ ho City of Love nemu menteme ho ase enti ne okonkwanta enye fe gidi say calm has restored in nkwanta but we continue to pray say lasting peace will come to nkwanta said the City of Love tag na inim ewo nkwanta no ebetumi afa nentuma pa efra now to the substantive matter me say ya de Ghana emrako batan the 1992 constitution ya nananom achechire sa amra no ato ho se ye de bebu yeman na menteme ho ase bi eba or refer to sa document no said the yenkofa sikane ajan say ye de solve your issues nti the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana a sacred document me gidi ye say ye de edi juma over the years aboa ye eyiye pa na nse ya na ye te say encrophobia a petition the president say Chief Justice omonya ya nka enyine emfiri ho eba ye president refer petition no edema Council of State in accordance with sena emrane echere no na individuals bi enya ehonti ase people went to the Supreme Court senema bi a omonti ase no ebetimi ayi ase akere omo. It's also under the Constitution said the Supreme Court and a court emra no bebi a wonti ase no omo na ese efata se ombetimi ayi ase akere yete ho a yese Council of State at the report about say petitions na ye present ma omo no omo ko hwehwe mu a omo hu se enyina so obi wo ho se Chief Justice obeyi ne ho ano se ye the petition e kosa Council of State be hwem omo ahwe se eso enyina so obi e wo petition no mu a se enyina so obi e wo mu a afi na ya set up committee na ne ayede ko adu no e bo no wono so atimi abeyi na no nti bebi a yadru Council of State agi atumu se petition no omode bae no eye enyina so obi e wo so nti omwate committee a ne ayede ko adu no abo no obeba abeyi ne ho ano na yede ne a eyehu ewo mu ne se yewo 3 arms of government the executive, the legislature, and judiciary. Now, these 3 arms of government enjoy some level of independence and some level of checks. And it drew empempenso say ya. Na yeshwese yebenya abutoyem na yatimi aye enema esese itimi ye said the bear and that decision I be taking no enkoye decision I be taking a ebekwa akoko atia ye dachi bi betidi ye say we na ye na edikan a ya petition Chief Justice a adru empempenso a ewo se edru yi eyade a yesusu se empenyimfo na omowo say dwumadi ano no ombetini e de omona asifom say de be ya pepepeyo ebetumi aye adwuma na ye de nea eye hu ewo mu emaye ne se ansa na aban ebeba abandwamo no na ensem bibiri ena asisi ewo ye judiciary a ene ye ka ho asemu yi aban mu a mpanyimfo mo aban mu nde e ka ho nsem bibiri ete ho nsem bibiri efi the election petition in 2020 de bia Supreme Court ebema decision bia obehu na nsem bibiri na ye ka omo asem e na omo anka ni yiye e na omo anye ni yiye ebeduru mre bi kura no Supreme Court no yetu omo din se omo ye unanimous FC because say omo ye omo ejuma commentaries bibiri ekwa akoduru baby se vacancy ba judiciary num na the president then efile vacancy na eho abansem nkamia ye se ebia wo hyeda na wapam obi na odi obi eba ekomu a etikrom ha bet say yes o Akufo-Addo president then apake the judiciary with MPP alleged MPP people esa say wa exercising a constitutional mandate say obe appointed people to the Supreme Court.
Mi ba ma membre mu kakra. Unje ndi se eye ne yehu saade ni bida. Se president biti so why appointment we face so much opposition and I say omo no appoint omo na eye problem no.
Ne ete ne se omo a omampanyi be appoint omo bia. Ne wo se ebisa ne se eso qualify sen otena ho. Yehwe omo a omampanya appoint omo at the time obia qualify esa obetena ho. The minimum qualification criteria under the constitution ayerane obia qualify. Na vacancy banso a the president intimi nka se vacancy aba na emu me mpese obi beka me ho asemunti nim feel vacancy no e mandatory se vacancy ba the Supreme Court a was say o feel vacancy no na o feel vacancy na fe mentimi ho ase o we ni we fi ha na we kosi ha enti ensem bebre ebae ekodu baby na judiciary no aba under public scrutiny political actors and so edi omo ho agimu bebre amanfo efa ho eye campaign promise na omo ba ye be reset the judiciary na Akufo-Addo then wa package judiciary with MPP people ene aban yi ba ye nyame aya adom Ghana fo ato aba ye President John Dramani Mahama yetewa petitions aba say Chief Justice Ghana focus aso nia amanfo eka enano no eya bemu ana reset na yeka ho asem no eya reset
this is the first time obi actual petition for Chief Justice me je say under former president Akufo-Addo petitions be so echo anameboa
under former president Akufo-Addo petition echo
against the same Chief Justice
and within the 1992 from 1992 ebepem the justices are and as a Chief Justices occupy sa offices no dodo na petitions e den eba efa omo ho na momo o hwe emra na yedibu Ghana man na petitions ebeba na mum emra na nkasa ma safeguards se yede bebo sa institution no eden ho ban se de be ya obia entimi ensore keke na o se o matro petition o mampanyi je ye pese yi Chief Justice ne efri ho yema sa eho kwan a obia kaka betumi asore atro petition say yenyi Chief Justice nti safeguards eyeden ewo mu enti we ya recommend say prima facie ya determine prima facie issue ya recommend say committee entrance na ya probe asem no ya adwen ye say nia amanfo ka na ano no eno a na omudi ejuma na wo hwe petitions ya ye hu ya o kan petitions no dodo na untimi hu anyina so bia na emom omo tensam no so ese omo de omo anya anyina so na ye bisa se president ya e ba be seti ye nhwe ensonsonso a e de bebre ye is it not the situation that one arm of government is fighting another arm of government? These are arms of government they are more or less co-equal. The President of the Republic is the head of the executive. The Chief Justice is the head of the judiciary. The speaker is the head of the legislative arm of government. Is it not a case said the executive the deliberate attempt to be a judiciary we are coming to attack the judiciary and no any Ghana for say ye ko sa direction where are we going to how are we going to sustain it? Is it sustainable? And then Obiaba say allegedly Obia appointee Obinti chinchina ye nyine emfiri ho. Ye nyine free ho a ne obeba no dachi obi so ba onyine emfiri ho ana. These are the things that Ghana for ehwe. And no enable you. Also the constitutional arrangement the Chief Justice can only be removed from office on 3 grounds. Baako and it's a stated misbehavior. Near tosubium incompetence. Near toso any inability to perform his or her duty as a result of infirmity of body or mind. These are the 3 grounds.
Ill health.
Yes. These are the 3 grounds you be Chief Justice a free office. Now, OSHA petitions all the 3 petitions focus on the incompetence and then
misconduct,
stated misbehavior. Infirmity of body Now, asema Ghana for bisane say OSHA petitions here the president here. All these petitions, did they qualify or did they pass the threshold of stated misbehavior? Did they pass the threshold of incompetence to warrant the determination of a prima facie? And no, and a Ghana for then, NTS, and no, not Ghana for Obi, yes, Obi, Atuquine, or the Nebusiani, Akanaho. And also, incompetence a woman any day. Stated misbehavior woman any day. I will call to them, Chief Justice no be anyasem. We hear Juma idea, Kwambi also assembaba. Lawyers work in courts. Sometimes we call court, with me who say heated argument between the bench and a lawyer originally. It is part of a Jumano. Nti obi any obi enyamente me ho atenti wa chirokrata tintin say many Chief Justice anya asem a yaka amenesi nti because of that or you incompetent. Okay. Because of that or misbehaving nti yenyi ne emfiri ho. Nia ebo Ghana fo hu ene say wo hwe emre bi etwemu a during the 2024 campaign period reset yaka ho asem a yeba aban mu reset no adwumayefo na yedi kan epamo wom ekotena afie mame say ye fi ho yaba Chief Justice mame the question is if you give Chief Justice who is next eno ebo Ghana fo hu anhwe a ye be yi amanfo saa na oti studio ha ya be ka tro so wo mra osu kofi eno na ebo ye hu entina ye kasa
mate medase Said Musa na mote ne nka no represent the New Patriotic Party our studio hanu musei lawyer Kojoga Adawudu so ababedu hanu musei hey hwehwe me kakre
amini ayete ho no nyame adom nti
net say
nyame adom ye ho
ye hu kra all of a sudden I feel the whole system no
ko de bi me ho na me ko school kakra so
ugusuko school
o de satisfy de bia yesua so when sua nkra mo aba no omo ye sharp nti ese u keep you form so de bia yes omo bedribo
agenda so ka
agenda so ka o say agenda so ka
o so me bra pen
oh mini
OFUT na de meka o TV
oh okay
oh yeah OFUT
and they say enuanu mi no na me
me chairman I can't constituency
so agenda ka ho
beba for fe o china yi na edi o TV minister ni no
oh okay
so uti
enti
agenda ka ho
all the go school start school enti also say do kasa no waka ka na wontimi anka say emra no ma ho kwan say say President Mahama ye nia oye anamra no na say petition bi ba ye nhwemu na ye hwemu na ye say prima facie case prima facie case na enye President Mahama nkwa na tena so Council of State and tena say and hwemu na omoma no so bibia de ye hu no and the say form a committee na committee no aye be form no committee na be hwehwe emu na amwa investigation asha say oh petition here dey about reasons here dey about for misstated misbehavior any incompetence no ampa a woman na eni and I be ma chief justice no so opportunity or the lawyer and any expert say financial issue say me petition no Mrano can say it doesn't have to be public. Enti na nyama course ni nyama na me matuma dum say I won't even see the content. Because content no it will only come up after committee no start to say and even that one has to be in camera. Enti it can only be the lawyer or mon lawyers ni nyama anani ayede be trend no say petitioner ye try to say the man or no. That be but ni con no some assess as speculation. Oh, they are here.
Let's just say petitions.
This is the first time
you are seeing this.
This is the first time I mean who reasons no. But minia one kase Emrano Article 146 no. Sebi o. Yewura Mahama na the share constitution no. And na odi so. Am so obi antimi anka say Emra onam so no. What touch man now wafun Obia up to now I want to hear anybody the MPP or the parties even Ghana Bar Association omo statement omo de buy they could not even say that say president na Nnawotwe no he's wrong all they just said you said the independence and the constitution should be followed now when they can say constitution hasn't been followed. And can somebody say constitution has not been followed. Procedure has not been followed. And then the first time, you better follow Article 146. You start here, no. Chief Justice Akwa. You did not so far. So Akwa we are so. Oh no. Not be a Jew here, no. And then I say prima facie case no ye dia show mo say ehwe no and umutumi say we dey bibi enim ababi eni constitution petition we enu mujai ye mame Georgina Wood ono so bae no petition bae eno kura me aminim say be membodin ye di command President Mills I saw the mark President Mills say ademi amehwa bibi enim enti prima facie case no anything I anti almost all the chief justice says they have been petitioned but we no stronko I woman say council no any president decided say there's a prima facie case nia omo aka no to say me hu omo say yes we took kwan $30,000 bi yes oni ne ba any ne kun After na me who me all that was flying in social media. 80 say ebasa na obi can be home. And she's not being given the opportunity say be here no. For lawyer Brad na be here no. Bobo yes debi. Pepe so ye do no ye no ye. None of them. And can say omo court o. Ko can say near president na ye no is unconstitutional. But nobody has gone. Case I had the court and the say near president in a year no, unconstitutional. Almost say the Chief Justice was not given a copy of the petition. And our president will say, oh, no problem. Petition no, and you need so answer. Say Juma obe answer any ordinary lawyer bekono. Is where the committee would look into it. Chief Council of State and some mobile no. Menkayo, there's a former Chief Justice there, so far Kufu. Though Ajawan Kasa was a lawyer, he was a former speaker. Betty Mold is a lawyer. The committee is city, almost for me small committee, is city, almost shame, and some of the advice no command president. President also the legal counsel, the lawyer. It's be shame I say, oh, we are same way no. Yema Chief Justice no opportunity. And to say you are suspended one. And yes say you are guilty. Where you fall? David. And no stress how. And no just stress say. Emrano makwa president no. Sa to me say, obetumi aka say, odi agina nchen. Say ehwemu wie na bibie ni ho a. Betua wodwuma so. Say ehwemu na ye hu say, David we anko yi a. Ene eno no recommendation committee no de beba no. And also na president no bedi. It is the committee that is going to look at it and take that decision.
Council maybe so petition could do president hono. Me get this already here.
As a president, yes, already here. And now the Beman council no on kind no briefing.
And me get this the council the AG possibly and also any other council
or council or presidency and sana attorney general
so almost share we mu say the wa o kan between the AG the president's council no any president na nkasa no
any council of state
any council of state before assembly crowd could do council of state in China almost steady here no almost to me and you so couldn't they have done anything to protect the chief justice in the sense that Uku can say maybe say we because can say President Mills
yes
we be petition before Georgina Wood home or share
any council of state
enti engineer so ben na obi be bisa say engineer so ben na presidency no and as a president no enya yo o Jesus asem we tu mo a otumi forward the petition no e ma council of state
no yeah me share petition edam minim sisi no omoma almost 21 and almost 20 reasons. What do I say? Almost 20 reasons. May I sure say Sal the announcement. What do I say? Say sometimes there are a lot of reasons. Even say a bako, okokot na a ball could do, and attend a court near mouth. Even 70 charges and 50 charges. Na bako pe. A baby woman. It make us say yenkum. That is why court no judge don't me share omoye omo case no we or see we there they be me they are touching way about enti ya no. What they say? There are several ways. It is the council. Any president na between decide say, oh, ade ya kan no. Bibi wom.
Moka brofo akese. Premier fashi. Eye de bad. And when yes. Say determined say there's a premier fashi case in this petition.
In this petition, a president and the council of state.
Premier fashi na yadi.
Premier fashi no. And no say okay na we hu evidence bia na okay keka. Utimi hu say ampa asem no say ye manipa no eyi ano. Na se mekana me hu say o we dey bibi enima let me aka say dey bi we emite prima facie wo de woni hwe keke enye se wo be kwa asem no mu woni keke a wo de hwe a wo be kan no wo be say eh ne omo aka wa anom de enye ye ma nipa no kwan a o be yi na no wo de ase enti se prima facie no ene chese keke se me hu petition na nia ya tro wo no me hu fili se ampa ne omo kan ye no bibi wo enti ene mamema ono nso o meyi na no that is prima facie case on the face of it no e chese bibi wo o dey say sebi let me give an example maybe may not be related se bi yese ye kum nipa bi o de ase wo kokumemli ano na obi say eye wo na oye but at the time of the nipa ni wu ye no ogwa na watermali uni ano na e course no ensi if there's a petition looking at it cry say yes say wo na oye na wo hwe so a wo say na nipa no watermali oye we ye nyina ye hu no TV so watermali for all this 1 week no no it just say even on the face of it no you can throw it away they say but say cancer na say kokomemle maybe ya no na ye hu ono ye hu no all this time wa hanu mo no na be ka say ampa say hu no was that area no ma ndie ye ntisa committee no na committee na ehwem say ampa we na kum nipa no ana enye ono a but what you say that is the prima facie enti say the asem no bo wa na ye ka na wo hwe so out me who say we there maybe a bit me ebim we there it is not this person they say so that is the prima facie case and now you see obi akwa yi sika bi na o sign pay deposit ni niama na wo yi withdrawal no the signature any in the picture ni o hwe so a obetumi say ampa the picture ni da ye kan no obe sign but o hwe so na enye the picture enye the signature na at the time no so no na nipa no maybe or performing some business at the time o hwe abe say how can it be and they kind of prima facie say o hwe so keke no ebetumi atwe say o bibi wo ma obetumi aka ana ontumi nka o dey say enti ade a course no dede no it's been used, it's tried and tested. Article 146 di emra no say in shisheye de ato ho no. It doesn't mean say you're suspending means say she's guilty, she's been condemned. No. She's not been condemned. They say but say ye dede and na hear me one no say sebi me nuamo a omowo the other side MPP lawyers ni niam akuku jam for no omo kan maybe some say emra no de omo de atotwene ana say minim o na call the same law school omo kan the same emra no eno ana former president use here ena bi o say de bi niam hu no to say kuku asare de no on my reasons enti there's no prima facie case they say omo troye e call sam Atu esuma try sign say the anti-president say farmer facilities be enim no eni what they say and it's clear yen na yet me ho here enti let's give the chief justice the opportunity to be heard and when she's heard we say my things and baby say suspension no political emrani yedi mrano so ana. You see, sometimes you say, if justice must be done, it must be seen.
To have been done.
That it has been done. Manifestly seen. Sebi, perception ye BB. It might not be true or not. Say, you can say FC unanimous. Say Supreme Court at the point in our history, BBI which has a political undertone. It is 7-0. It is 7-0. To extend, say, even the national security minister, but can I say, I did more a security threat. If you just oppose near Okan, any near former president can at a meeting or say, maybe a judiciary air coin, I see a year overhauling, I see a shemu ye bani a shemu. Now we say, Entinia can the paka here the no politics. And I know there are some true or can ye. Nya John Mahama can ye no there politics. Entinia John Mahama can enti and then there Juma. You see, they keep on shifting the goals.
Could you let me ask you? What I say? I mean, business assembly. Na yen to me, ya Chief Justice no, I want office. emadwumadi enkoso process we enkoso apart from say ss chinchina ss suspended no
and then the discretion discretion Emrana Ankasa constitution no Ediama president discretion and the president no between decide say me suspend you and I mean suspend you based on maybe information he has they say because don't forget that president he gets security briefing every time and Emrana say the president can suspend say for me committee now and Obeka say to awejuma so what they say
Mate
it has been the same say this same process I use Edi Charlotte say at the time no process on any article 146 na any ni omo bisa say see the document we no petition na man na oyi ano Charlotte Osei Ankasa obisa by yan farmer no.
But so the laws between the government maybe statute Emma young farmer Charlotte Osei no uko constitution e wo ho no. The chief justice's own are very different from
no.
that of Charlotte Osei.
No. Share from High Court we a judge. Now we a senior public servant. Remuneration is at par with the judges of Superior Court. Yes, the judges of Superior Court are High Court, Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court. Any higher Emrano procedure. Now, a Chief Justice, no, what they say, and then at that time case no by Justice Aqua, Kingsley Aqua, no. And now, a J2 case be or a J2. Almost share emuno, and almost say privileges are yadiama all the judges of the Superior Court no. In the first place, the Chief Justice is a justice of the Superior Court. And to why on now one can be much about the way Chief Justice no there no. Then they will have to look at it. And this case now almost say, yes say, so yeah the Council of State. Council of State no MP lawyer. MP Obia obetumi ahwe petition no abua Council of State. What they say? Until omo they should have a convention for the Chief Justice. Until 146 until no omo who say for Chief Justice no the procedure no wasn't elaborate.
Musa
Until that is how omo ye no. Until there is a procedure that has to be followed.
Okay.
And that is what the president is following.
Okay. Sedu.
And maybe answer no.
Okay.
Now okay bibi say obi to me sorry now I petition. Sasem no so by time here the Chief Justice Akwa here. Na sa case no can say they be emrano untimi limit obia. Ma obia say or bibi against any of the judges, any person no.
It can't to me sorry say.
Everybody says citizen. If you are a citizen, obey to me a petition. But once you petition, no, it is because now Moka say, and there will be the floodgate. And court now can say, we are limited or more. And then we are limiting the people. We are gagging them. And to let anybody open Omra. Okay. But it is how to determine the prima facie case, no. That is why in all the cases from 92 no, up to date, no, this is the only case we have seen say a committee has been set for a Chief Justice.
Okay.
But for other ones, Charlotte Osei and Madam Lamte. Madam Lamte was under Mahama.
Yes.
And
the former strike commissioner.
Former strike commissioner.
Yeah.
And Charlotte Osei was under President Akufo-Addo. So okay. What is much about this?
Menua, I'm say nia menua penny ekan waka ni yie na mame enye emfanto ho bi nsem ya aba nyina e wo fare bae emfa ne say studio ha na wo de won sa atene manim se wo Musa wo de nya botre menya tumi a behu ne amede be yo na ampampa wa banya tumi amitifi a wasma onkrofo se yembe hweme. The first thing I ever imagine when I say, ti ampa na asama papa ye kan yi enu ntia na wotu sa na mon we yes every reasonable mind because sa enti na wo ye ne a wo ye se na o kan ye no omo bo apro nyina omo ama omo supporters no obia omo abo adwene mu pobia to omo tirimu se a judiciary ne de let me borrow his words omo be overhaul the then presidential candidate oye omampenye and his excellency John Dramani Mahama ono ananum ewo ho mejidi yesem mi senior ewo ho bi na omo hia omo lawyer so kan say o judiciary ne de omo ba nyasam ketwa no mbedi wo ho nsem ne bebre a omo be dwure agu ho no na nyasam ketwa nti eba yeyi a omo ko hye omo nuanu kutupa say yenko choro petitions no afiga na fo say so nsem a nkrofo ka emre bi etwe mu no say they are putting it into action and until na sa petition we are generating the kind of debate are generating the same odi kan no petitions have come but none of the petitions generated the kind of debate this particular petition is generating because of antecedents na obi ekosete ekogina simpie so eka no ama Ghana fo nyina eteye se ye de ye ba judiciary no ye be overhaul judiciary no and the judiciary is said that the chief justice and the head of the judiciary nti ye hia se afi top ho yetimi wie commander na odi omoanimu na chese omo akan de ye kokokura eno na ama Ghana fo ebohu se obi edikan akase mi bedi omampenyi a judiciary no me overhaul no na oba ya within 3 months na o target captain na odi edom na anim na chese ehu om
what share the structure the current structure of the Council of State mama weni akoho kakra
mama meni akoho
any the caliber of enkrofo wo ho oje di se omadwemu ye hasa se petition o mo hwe mu no o ma hu bibia wo
ne wo mo ne se the Council of State with all due respect ekukudamfo eka ho ekukudamfo ewo mu pa and they have been doing this all this while under Article 89 of the Constitution memra no ema omo ho kwan se omo nye ne a omo eye but oba efom ho a Council of State no I can tell you on authority say enema bibre enewom o hwe the regional representatives kwan a efa so a ye beto aba ama omo abedi Council of State a enema ekoso pa manya kwanya abedi assemblyman da ena Council of State regional representatives no so assembly for na yeden eto saaba no kwan a efa so a ye selecting crofom be kwakoto saaba no kra no yes nti ewo mu se omo ho no omo ni mu de but eto da na political pressure na ba you succumb that is the worry of the good people of this country. Nti ejide say yes individually obi a won discretion e wo ho na mom 2 minutes efi baby na epusi wa ubegina ho ebe wi ase no you just have to give up and then allow anything to go
asama o kan say ojede say recommendations on the ma president no enyo omo adwene mu
you see
na mom no obi hie akire
you see
ana all yes ade no
o hwe the constitutional architecture the judicial arm of government enjoy some kind of immunities. And as our immunities, we have found a safeguard constitutional architecture no ashada aye. Said the bear these 3 arms of government no. Ebet me anya inyina ho agina pintin agina stronko. Oko the legislative arm of government also enjoy some privileges be. The privileges are supposed to serve as what? A safeguard. Said the bear, ubowro mumua, a bed in so best cat.
No chese will be a ye beginner saying, meba.
Mami, Osha, the executive arm of government, the same thing. Otias here. Enti obo case bi eye Ajechum case. Ajechum court that about justice as it then was. Or ye ni ruling oka bibi kan ho. Or say the determination of the prima facie important because it serves as a safeguard. Let's just say even with the interpretation of the rule Qur'an, they have a certain purposive interpretation to the law. Say the beya ye be bo sa eyinu ho ban. Na petitions are ye hui ene me bra penyi say ene na wa hui. Wo hwe na ewo mu na. Yes, Chief Justice is performing her duty as the administrative head. Apart from so Chief Justice, or administrator, so he performs his duties as what administrative head. Inti se ekobemu se in the process of performing her duty as an administrative head, na utia internal mechanisms be anywhere e be resolve that.
And no why be mununka. You refer to the general legal counselor. Because
does it warrant
an institution being
a petition? These are
and I say setting up a special committee been investigating and answer them.
In the performance of her duty as a Chief Justice. Now Abia Otna as a panel member. It is only in rare cases I'll be say Supreme Court panel justice back, even though Emrama who can so meet me panel justice back. Now most of the times they panel 5, 7, 9. Meboa.
Yeah.
Now Abia panel of 5 are taking decision. Now, yes, panel of 5 are taking decision or bako and embesafa for the decision taken by a panel of 5. And no ushe petitions no more. Does it warrant to say because petition about on these grounds?
Previous cases
qualify to pass the threshold of misconduct of or incompetence. Those are the things we are looking at. Osha or referencing previous petitions now a buyer. Now Professor Moses then also Oshimwana who say we there assembly. We believe that President Mills did what he did not because say when who be but that protective guard now that arm of government Osha say open floodgate no dodoa in some bebree enebeba. Now, Ghana for who say, wait there, a start FE baby, unanimous 7. And I ba judiciary no, you be overhauling.
And what is a previous case, sir, Omubutia NDC for no. And no homes and so on about Chief Justice.
And one or Modeka, or one or Moka, when you're Yeka, or one or Moka, or Mampini, and Nnawotwe Yi, Oko Jina Simpie, so Ekai, or one or Moka. Unanimous 7, no say, Yena Ekai. And I also petition back on one near group no a petition first one no almost say MPP for the case Chief Justice said then MPP for case and term eja NDC for there we are asema yeka we asema yeka you know inti ohwe nema we nyina every reasonable person ebeba into a conclusion say in some omoka amre bi etwem no say ye be overhaul judiciary no. And now mobile be more or reset agenda now mukita no. Ama Ghana for adwene mu ayomuna say so enkrofo we nia omuka and one omudi ejuma nti ye di kan ahye ase afi the Chief Justice. Ye clear Chief Justice we are wo allegedly yes say former President Akufo-Addo e de wo akopake Supreme Court no. Ebe didi sa aba omoso.
Oh wow. How are they not qualified?
Oshe trajectory na.
Are they not qualified?
Ye free ho a enkoka ho ebia omo akoka other state institutions.
Sir judges here will come asem.
Me Ghana for
me ba ma me be so asem ba ko. Judges here will come asem. They appeared before the vetting committee.
Yes.
Omo qualified. They passed them. They were approved. And he said ebe din se obi betumi asori na ordinance akokan ma na sa asem no unjintum.
The Chief Justice also went through the same process.
Yes.
But a petition aba. Meboa. It's the same thing. After the Chief Justice, because okay, Justice we went through petition final. It will go through the same process and get him removed. And also that process is now outlined is here. Say you are nominating Parliament or go through Parliament. those stages were followed. The Chief Justice followed the same process.
Yes.
And petition aba. The same thing, you Chief Justice here. Other justices no more Supreme Court, no. Now akosha ya hunkutupa. So okay, muncho petition, NTR SMSC. Muncho petition, NTR SMSC. Then they go through the same process. They say okay, say yeah kan yina no, yankasa omuti amra. Yes. They will go through the same process and get him removed. And that is the agenda.
Why? Okay.
That is the agenda.
Ma me nso wa no ha no say ye say ko break, say ko pesika kakra. Na weekend. Anti say ko break na ye ko mula na omomo etwa mula no. Ye hwe say sika ahe anom benyegu omobotom ye weekend we. Anti ye nyina we so ye ba me je this ye be spending about another 10 minutes on this particular issue. Now you move to the next topic. It is our Jumedie, Nnawotwe Yi, our Adom TV, so a chat, our sempa, uko social media platforms, Nina, so I will ho, ube to me, a share, our honmo. Medin the Walanyo, Frank, Nyonato, ye train haba sesia. Yo, ya co breaker, yaba, we Nnawotwe Jumedie, our show Adom TV, so Medin the Walanyo, Frank, Nyonato, na mene lawyer Kojoga Adawudu, I represented the NDC. Any Seydou Musa, I also represented the NPP. Mini omo ene Edi Jumai, ewo Nnawotwe Yi Jumedie so. Na Jumedie uko asempa ubenye BT uko Adom FM uko your social media platforms nyina so. Ubenya program etwa live ewo honomo. Seydou na wanu go asemi so ansana mitwa so. Mema obe 5 minutes na you can wrap it up. Na lawyer some brother.
Na yaka ne say minu ya kasa no say president ewo wide discretion. Say obe suspend CJ. No kre emrano ka say the president may ne nature say discretion. The question is adentina OSS discretion no on the other side. Adentina one man antina ho. Adentina or suspended. No? He has the opportunity to either suspend or to leave him there. Why did he choose the other option? No, and Ghana for ye bisa. Now, I can say me what is happening now. Young Korea school. I say a friend is saying my book of Bible studies. And can is a book no. The Bible stories.
My book of Bible stories.
Stories. You can't send be. Now, I say. Your friend Bibi Armageddon at the time. Now you can so. Biblically, it connotes a battle between a confrontation between evil and good. Majidi said Bibi a judiciary is a battle of Armageddon. A battle between the good
and the bad.
And evil.
And evil. Wow.
Now when this storm settles, you be beside as Ghanaians. Say, how did this battle occur? You better beside your home and so say, what is the ultimate price you pay for this battle? This is what Ghanaians will ask if this storm is weathered.
Lawyer, mama bisa us asem we. Many nkofo bebre din komo afa sa asem course we. Onye ndi say gradually no ye erode the respect obuo any reverence a yewo edema constitutional institutions na because me ma hwe bibi Charlotte say yenim de ba ekoye ewe no ye piano si baby and then now Chief Justice of Ankasa na afi are we not weakening our constitutional institutions?
Debbie, I don't think so. One say, we should be bold to confront Nyama. And whilst you are confronting it, make sure say you follow due process. Oh yeah, Philly say, oh Nyame bi wo hono ma. O koka na wo ye bibia Nyama be say. What do I say? But in weakness you find strength. Ye Philly say Nyame bi wo hono ma anye ye. Yes, share say, maybe I do constitution protecting am penny for no. Maybe because of the sensitive nature of Omwejuman Ontino, sometimes we don't have to go for accountability name bisa. Charlotte was say any Loretta Lamte. And yet, you say, the principal things are year or more procurement issues. What do you say? Oshe NCA trial no. You did football no. Idea mostly happened was about procurement issues. What do you say? And even for Chief Justice, I think maybe the reason why they found the Auditor General level to be on the committee, no, yeah, because maybe Sky yes we took any per DMB one retire in Yamano. I'm sure, say because of those issues of financial issues, and in the Ajechum case, no, or say bio, say yes, say stated misbehavior, and maybe Chief Justice as head of institution, no. Say be obi be can say Chief Justice no we give bribe. Yet say yet can somebody petition say Chief Justice give bribe into. It's also a ground you could look at. So it's not always about Omoejumano. Enti say Auditor General has captured some of these things in their report. Say, oh, next be by retire and some travel. We want where did they give her the audit report to answer? Sure. What was her answer at the time? I'm sure these things were captured in the Auditor General's report. Oh, they can say, oh, Mahama can be, and I'm can anti or mobile. No, they are following that. Let me give you a classical example. Maybe what would be? Now, who need to know at the time to be able to confront it. And to say, when you're 2 minutes, you want to confront it. Example is the Akunta mining. You say Akunta mining, ye bibi, or ye bibi bonny war. Quiet. President everybody say Akunta mining is not doing anything in the forest. Because at the time, Nyamuho ye the command police simple. Because that 2 minutes, and cry. Say, not 2 minutes by and sem no, Mama, nye 2 minutes. Okoshaya, even Minerals Commission and Kasa say at the time they didn't have mining lease. Their lease was not ratified. Until what was the Mineral Commission sitting down doing when Akunta? So how come the Ene Akunta mining? So this is the kind of example I'm saying, say, maybe at the time, President Mahama Kasano, na Ohu Bibi. Now, who be Auditor General's report on these matters. And now that it has come up and the matter has been raised. And he said, maybe they have seen something. They was, they say, Sebi, forgive me. Obi an inifra na or say, me to boa na Nancy Bibiso. And every time, now let me tell Ghanaians. Let me plead with them and say, there were 2 justices of Supreme Court. But no petition, maybe say, almost sitia, now or influence or say, na case is being in Yama, she empannels the case. But if the 2 justices are Omunim, sir, Ejumano, Omoye Ejumano was Supreme Court, no, how would they go and say, Ampa Ejuma ye no, 1 year, and I ye. There are 2 Supreme Court justices, and Yefa Ejumano. Sa inquiry investigation no Yenjaima committee no the committee no shemu wia we can criticize them but say no we don't even want the committee to do its job
what the matter you fancy anu
yeah
Nnawotwe Yi na wo hwe yen wo Adom TV so this week no health minister so ehun sensem bi ba kakra and so ko PM or Tamale Teaching Hospital your videos be or per se bona mo hwe kakra but ewie no asem ntimi ho ase anye adwuma yie ene se okopie mu ho no na onte ase se machines omo de ye adwuma no ebi asese na asese so no omo ehwe hospital no so empanifo no na onte ase se omo ntu anamon bia se omo behwe na sa machines no yesiesie sa machines no say enchechremu no amba yie ana say ntuboase so amba yie mentemi ho ase ati ne ho simu ewieye no even though kodu ho anopa no edu enwumre no na CEO a ohwe Tamale Teaching Hospital so no na yeyi nedi say asem no anya nkofo bebre de Tamale Teaching Hospital Doctors Association declare strike say emergency cases omo enhwe intino yenhwe health minister the see ewo Tamale Teaching Hospital
for sharp mu de ho sam so kwabena minti akando e de ato a doctor for a wonom
you are behaving in front of me so you can imagine how I'm trying to explain. You can imagine how I'm trying to be
Oswafo a ono na hwe apomuden ehun nsem so kwabena minta akando e de atudwa se no krepa se Chief Executive Officer a wo Tamale Teaching Hospital Dr. Adam Kofi Entempara wochira womo amane nkrata eyelete bi chese ne dwuma woye no womo agye fini nsem na bra nsentrofo ebisa oswafo ise eyade a owura Adams agye eye nkrata na tuma wochirima ono de ontimi enkyere onim wochira enye de si ye na no kwesi adane nkuto na emom empenifo etnas committee eye nhwehwemu na nhwehwemu ebeto odwa no ana womo ekyere se enche ye bia nipa bi atwa nananom ewo ensiedo ewo saa ayaresabia no nenu ana omanfo eka ho asempa oswafo edi tudwa se ehu behia pa so omanfo a doctor for na nurse for woma wom ye adwuma wa ayaresabia no enye odopa edema eye apomuden ewon nsem enkankan se obi etwa nananom ewo nsiedo a osan edi tudwa se eni anye ho kura ewo ayaresabia no anamuntu a womo etuye efa akade esese womo ehweso ye no.
That's why it's blown up.
No,
can you imagine if it was related to
you are not also understanding.
If you have that mindset, you will get the impression wrong.
You are not understanding me. It is not.
I told you to keep quiet.
Enkrata Ghana Medical Association for the abetu jano which mu se oswafo a wo sharp omudin so kwabena menta akando enu ye bia ede die bra wo call Tamale Teaching Hospital ho akwansere ko wi ase kura no CEO a woda asoye ya no wapamono no Nnawotwe Yi ochemu se oni apomdi adwumayefo ho no e ka bom e pa kontabuo na wo sere nso se atete e free abaye adwumayefo ho na ye e wo se eto etwa no hu ne se ya wa yi CEO yi edi eyetumi bi ekura wo so afo sharp omudin so ena wode di dwuma ma na tra so eno achi won krata enim no ochemu se wo pe bibi e friend media audit ya wo yare
tansem we mu no yenko phone no so na yenko phone lines no so yani Dr. Thomas Anaba or ex CEO Ridge Hospital Enkasa. Doc, good morning.
Thank you very much. Nnawotwe. Misusu me to see me MP for Garu. Menye Ridge Hospital ex CEO already. I am the MP for Garu constituency. So I think you should add that. Yeah.
Me pacho you. Where the facham why? Say MP no so hu ya pa.
No, I say hear me. It's a title I struggled for. So
yo me that
say hear one me hear me because I struggled for.
Oh, hear me pa. Honorable, right. Honorable, the course week we mu no. Wadwen kire e wo ho ne sen your initial thought about the course no.
It is something that I think that it shouldn't have even happened. Because a father cannot be talking to their children, or an employer cannot be talking to his employees, even if it's wrong, for you to stand up to him in that manner. In our customs, it's not good. And I think you can bear with me. Let's put politics aside. If I owe a hospital and I have my staff and I come to ask for something and you think it's wrong, just keep quiet and listen to me and find a nice time to come to me, to talk to me. But a broil ensued by exchanging of words to two ministers, which I think that it wasn't up, it wasn't good. It ended up with the dismissal of the CEO, which I don't think is strongly related to the dismissal. Perhaps there were other issues already pending before this broil took place. Because in front of the minister, staff of that CEO were challenging a minister, were arguing with a minister, he should have been the one even to ask the doctors to keep quiet. But he failed to do it. So to me, I think we have mixed up things. And the minister is a minister. In any case, he's the father of all of us who work under the health sector. No matter his size or whatever, he has been appointed by the president and needed some amount of respect. Even if he's erring, you have to find a nice way of getting him to understand it. And you may even win more favors from him than challenging him. That is my initial comment.
Doc, let me ask you this question. These are professionals within the hospital. And so
yes.
if the health minister is going there and right
yes.
in front of the health minister,
yes.
these leaders of the hospital are being made to look like irresponsible people. They know the issues within the hospital.
Good. Adamius went to the port. There were professionals at the port. He went and shouted at them. Were they no professionals? Did they shout back at him? That is respect to seniors, respect to your parents, respect to your elders. He didn't shout. Watch the video very well. The minister was asking him questions. It is when the doctor said that you are hyping the death issue. That is when Suhimi came in and his voice went high. That is when the real argument started. But if you watch the minister, he was talking, asking questions. He was not shouting. There were the doctor was repeating his request, the sentences. But when Suhimi, when he then said that, oh, why are you hyping the issue of this death? That is when Suhimi jumped in. For one death is too much. Even if it was not your fault, but you don't say it in the air. I know Tamale teaching very well. And I know there are several challenges because of the mismanagement by the management of the hospital. I know Tamale teaching hospital very well. And I understand the doctor's plight. They need equipment. They need consumables. And you can see the list they gave to the minister. If that is your hospital and you give this to a management to manage, and the office, a medical doctor will ask for these simple consumables, except for the ventilators. The rest there, the management can buy. And they give it to you. That day, if you are the owner of the hospital, you remove the manager. Because it means that he's sleeping. When his colleagues in other hospitals are buying dialysis machines, are buying CT scan machines from their IGF, what do you expect a minister to do to somebody whose hospital is telling him that they don't even have common gloves and common disposable gowns to do surgeries? They don't have water to do surgeries. You do research a manager there, and on top of it, I come to see you, and there's an issue about a death, and the doctor is challenging me, and you, the CEO,
Honorable.
You are standing and looking at him quietly.
Honorable, who justify the removal of the CEO, Anna?
I'm not justifying the removal because I'm not justifying any removal because the removal is justified. From what I'm telling you, I have managed hospitals, and I've worked in the health sector, and I've gone around to visit hospitals of the same caliber. Look, let me tell you, doctors in TTH, but for the confrontation with the medical doctor, would have held a party when the CEO was dismissed. But for that, I am telling you from the background, and you can go to the Facebook and other things and listen to people talk. But for that argument, they would have applauded the minister.
Doc,
so let's not mix the two. But the other issue I'm just perplexed is about the GMA. Some members of the GMA, I will not say all, some of the executives. When they sacked me at Rich Hospital, did GMA write any letter? They said Atari, who sacked me from Rich Hospital without justification. It wasn't that somebody died and he came and they sacked me because somebody died. It was because they didn't just like me. GMA never came to my aid. They appear to have selective sympathy for people they like, even if they are incompetent.
Ono wa me bisa asasem we saa nyoma we esese ekoso wo so ebi ato pen nkofo bi ampe wa asem nti wo rage no ana omo yi wo fi ho ye ko ye nim no ya sen ye yi Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO no so ye yi nedi saa nyoma we eto ontwa esese eto ontwa ana wa dwen ni sen
they didn't remove the Tamale Teaching Hospital medical CEO because of political issues. They came there to visit the hospital like he went to Rich Hospital. Oko visit Rich no was like CEO no, medical director no. Oko visit omo lucky toilets. Toilets are almost constructed just 8 years ago. Omo lucky toilets Rich Hospital no. Wasaki CEO no. Wasaki CEO no. So why do you say he has gone to a hospital and sacked a CEO? He has gone and witnessed something that he thinks that is grievous. That is the reason. So if you see that he went to Rich, even had a confrontation, he even called them to ask them why they are locking a toilet, and patients have to suffer to use toilet elsewhere. He didn't sack the CEO because the CEO comforted himself when he was talking. He held himself. He knew that even if the minister was shouting at him, though he didn't shout, he had the right to do it. But he could find another way to converse with him. Did you see that they sacked him?
Honorable,
but he went to... No. But look, me, I sympathize with doctors. So, you know, I've never gone on strike and I've always fought for doctors. But in this case, don't fault the minister. Let's use our tradition, our culture to do the right thing. You can't shout at a minister. You can't. You can't.
Honorable, my final question here. Recommendations be saying.
My recommendation is that I'll appeal to the doctors to rescind their decision of forcing a minister to apologize to them. Because let me tell you, the minister controls the whole health sector. The best thing they could have done was to use that platform of the visit and the challenge that they had in saving that patient to negotiate with the minister to even get more favors. They could have used it as a form to negotiate with the minister. They could have gotten a boost of supplies to the place like they have achieved. But to argue with him and tell him that he must come and apologize. So you come and apologize. Tomorrow you want to go and do residency and your name gets to his table. Tomorrow you want to go and for international conference and you want that minister to approve for you who stands before him and shout at him. You see, elders are elders. However an elder makes a mistake, you find a gentle way of at least calling his attention. And if you call his attention in a gentle way, you can even win more favors. But for even though that's okay, the minister has still supplied them with all the list they gave to him. Haven't they benefited something from it?
You honorable, you better was say. You any wajin child eba same way so. Dr. Thomas Anaba, ex-CEO of the Rich Hospital, or say or ye honorable or fighting for or say or Bray and Senna or be MP for Garu. Mama in friend just say or ye ex-CEO. Lawyer Mama also so same way. Watch your videos, you know. A situation resulting in doctors withdrawing almost services, especially emergency services, or Tamale Teaching Hospital, or in solidarity with the sacking of the ex-CEO. Why don't you share anything?
Yeah, me that's it. Just here, Daniel Kupas say at the end of the day, the revered chief. Yana.
Yes.
Abim. Yana Abim.
Almost say partially normal withdrawal.
Yeah, partially normal resume. Normal resume.
Sorry, partially normal resume services.
Resume services. No. I didn't know. Oshima. Minister on the visit was not announced.
Yes.
It was not announced. It was a surprise. Because me sure says the minister no be call no man. What still near maybe in same be what I was so on no person ko hwe say I am pa na. Na me sure say same what it no the immediate one was video I cover viral say Sebi nipa no efimu and then there was no much or another deserve attention from say doctors and nurses no. If they are doing their best, if they are not doing their best, they are casual about it. And so and then I can say sometimes perception about what they do. And maybe if you're not able to communicate to the people, process in your mind, maybe it's different from what your professional advice and opinion would be. And me, I sure say because of Koyana, we so could share, kasa be by, I agree, say, Sebi, Ebasa, una oye penny, war a honor. Even if the minister thought Anania or might not be the truth or full proof, no. You needed patience to talk to the minister and tell him, maybe after a moko round, why you dinner, only na kasa say, this is it. Maybe near a catcher on the but the fact was, omoko equipment in Yamina, I say. So what has kept you for all this while? Maybe report on Uncle do minister no honor. Or you've not been able to put your initiative, I say, oh, manage hospital, no. You're using your own initiative, IGF, I think that it wasn't right for them, at least shouting in their mouth. But it also tells us, like Dr. Nabaka, member of parliament for Garu, okay, I say, Nyamibiba, I say, Nnawotwe. Patience is a virtue. The fruit of patience, it's sweet. I say, Nnawotwe. Because public administration, it is difficult. Governance is difficult. Oh, I want here, and out to me who say, but I think that it is far too many times, in previous government, even this government, we are seeing, people are being sacked. Or grassroots, also, the standard of precedents that are being set, if there is some slight difference in it, then people have cause to worry. What I said, Dr. Nabaka said, when even the minister went to reach, now maybe because
also to toilet.
Yes, but me sure say at the end of the day, no, chief executive want to make a why the reasons because they say you a rational person will not lock the hospital for the toilet for anything. There might be some reason or some incident may have happened. And maybe or not so fast, I think that any GMA to say or kind of say the selective approach, say all those times GMA was not able to issue and say that this is not right. This is
when he was being attacked.
Yeah, he was being attacked. Yes, the past is gone. Let's move forward. Let's find a way how our hospitals are. I say one of the biggest problem chief executives they are finding difficult. Maybe is this about our procurement issues. Also, procurement, you have to go through a process. Now, process I will be go through,
bureaucracy is not
bureaucracy. Now, bureaucracy, so does you don't have the power to say, as chief executive, maybe want to mentor BBA, it's over 50 million and now 10 million, 1 million, want to mentor, unless you go through a process. Now, that process you have to go through, Also, a third BBA, you have to buy them in dollar. Of course, supply we or say on farm so because on him say, auto a public institution, for almost a year, you are not going to pay. Until they are going to inflate the price for you. And there may be a ton of 5,000. They may be giving you to about 20,000. Because Omuni say that whole 1 year, and so they peg the money projection. And it is one of the difficulties the chief executive. And I think it is time we sit around the procurement issues. So that we can give free hands. Because Obian himself, we turn 50 cedis. Our shopper. There is no way, sir, 50 cedis, you give the chief executive also that our shop we. And also, the only thing he can add is transport and installation. But if you don't give him that, now the same store, he will pay in a year 50 cedis, near the mile 200. Those are some of the teething problems we need. But I think that so far, the health minister is also the authority there. On the this thing over there, the head over there. I think that out of all this one, yes, it's a learning curve. Okay. Sometimes when some of your subordinates who share or more, everybody like a man, you have ego. But let's approach them. And I think at the time he was okay with them until the situation happened. Let's all of us learn from it. It can happen to anybody anytime. But I'm happy. Now, Yana, we are grateful for your intervention.
Sedu, wahwe the course no. Ebise Nnawotwe Yi ewe no CEO no yapam no. Na kwanso anu no ana.
Yo, ne di kan ma memfa akwanya we na memma abusuafo a omo ahwere omo de hye yakọ. Se ya ohwere wo de hye ya pa. Enkawa na wonim ekawa obehu se na ete. Nti yema abusua na yakọ. Se enya boapayo se we yesi. Na mum esiye. Nti yakọ kese pa enko emomo. Na ni esi o Tamale Teaching Hospital and nano Sunday there. Me gidi say it was avoidable. There in the first place and say esi. Nka due diligence be juma nka this is an avoidable incident. And Nnawotwe Yi esan say minister no echo ho with a certain intent. At the end of the day, intention or the call no. It may be right, it may be good. Nemum, it was tainted with the incident just happened. So, baby, we should have been discussing the real issues that the minister went there to identify, but for this unfortunate incident. Tinamika said the incident was unnecessary, it was reckless, it was unfortunate. Nka say it's discretion be, yes, as I say, due discretion be nka ANC. Na doctor now we interview no mete ne kasa wa kasa ye na mum mahu se o hwɛ the tone of the language utimu se ye nuanu mo NDC for there vengeance na wo mutrim o study the tone of the language papa na o kasa obedru baby na o say na ono you no fi your friend say Ridge Hospital no GMA betro letter. So you see this kind of demeanor. It tells you say, okay, there you be inti yeso ya nya tu minti emfanya omo. It is wrong. And yes na nka wo say Osan so ka say a minister is a minister. Enti che say under wo mo de minister kasa obia enkebi. Mi gidi ye say enye sa na ete. Mpenyimfo ebu bebi say openyi odue mante. Minister no oyo penyi obia ajetum say our supervisory role over that sector obia ne no emumu hyew ono na ye openyi no but openyi odue mante utifie na enkola edi agro na hu say enkoye kura ebi wo ho na wa yedi omu a na wa from say kwame ni awoye yeyi wa anye ni ye kofi ni awoye yeyi wa anye ni ye minister no call ho na okohu nema we a what stops him say oye ne observation ne or taking a stock we are see you no why invite no about office one crime ontimi nka so womba odimirika pa that day no me sure say the last flight na what Tamale kra no na o de beba esan say openi ato ne safra adan na minister no antimi anya na sa esan say me a minister me kasa obi anka bi nti let me confront him. And naturally, senior senior man every man has an ego. Yes, any na ye will be. And the last thing of a man that you attempt is his ego. You can take everything away from a man, but don't try that thing. Odibeshia, o boss baha ene na gidi na opi. You react the same way. Prima facie, you react the same way. Tina Yeka said, the minister should have exercised some discretion. Say yes, Ushe Tamale Teaching Hospital. The whole region, the northern region in a whole, is one of the under-resourced regions. And it's a fact. You can't deny that. And within the northern region is the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Meaning Tamale Teaching Hospital. There are issues. The doctors there work under certain constraints. The work under some difficult conditions. And in some way, ABC, we need to get a certain sober reflection. Let's listen to the people. This open confrontation, trying to show Obia say, "Men am a minister and I'm a kasa Obi Nkedi." There be Nnawotwe Yi. Yes, we are minister. For all you know, Papa na onene kasano. He has been on this job for God knows how long. Yes, we are minister. Wacha idea after 4 years obeko. 2028. Ye besa beje aban nti after 4 years obeko. Na Obi oye juma over 10 years. Na ene wabedi minister nti o pese ye fra ko kanta. O pese obi ehu se ene me na me minister. Me ka ma Obi Nkedi. Nnawotwe Yi nka minister no e kare ne hu yi a me gidi ye se ene bebi ayeti we wouldn't be discussing the confrontation. We would have been discussing issues that will ensure say Tamale Teaching Hospital, the under-resourcedness of the Tamale Teaching Hospital is resolved. Eniema eni ho akade a omode be ejuma eni ho no nka no ho asem na ye be ka ene
ma me ntwa no kakra ye phone lines na be to screens no so intino say opese we contribute to the program na wa frɛ na mom no frɛ so a patcho me ntie wo ho e wo TV no so reduce volume no e wo TV no so na de opese wo ka no na waka ye pa wo chew so se ma wo kasa a wo be ka no ma ho enti yempe ayesem bia enti enche bia no ye the phone lines na be two screens no so na mo to me afre na ma contribute yeah
na ne ya ene se me nua panyin Alhassan Sohoyene honorable MP anya hwe kora no wo ofi mantem ho na nka wo se ona nka wo ye peacemaker I unfortunately ono nso adjoin ni nua minister na kasa na yeden kosoro ka megide se nka wo afi ho yi a one ne nam yi de ne buafu a kosoro no ona nka wo se wo tia ne nanso se ominua wo de nya botre na ye ne nkrofo wi enkasa kukuo mu na bebi a iye wo se ye de beto no na de ato ho
okay
ono nso anya ne sa ono nso de sa buga style ya ye de mu mu ye e de ne namu a
ma me mobile phone lines na e ma ya hwefo o ma mo person for 0302 211 701 0302 211 701 to 4 obetumi aye 1 no obetumi aye 2 obetumi aye 3 and obetumi aye 4. Hello. Hello, Francis.
Yeah.
Hello, Francis. Pacho Frefi.
Frefi Kantamanso.
Pacho, why you inche?
My drink is no quality. Babu me say, oh, Proverbs 15:1. Or say Kasaboko is Sanka Ebufu. And he, the best minister, and say, and no quality in Yaman Kuye, Edio. So. Say your comporter on us, me, your doctors only to beautiful, on your only professionals. Indeed, the Nebukubia, no Yamay Casa, who said about me a chat yellow. Oh, Proverbs 15:1, Casaboko, is Sanka Bufu, and my name is to ye. Jebez say, I have Kubia, Nnawotwe na, Senebea, never to ye na, Uncle Bufuna. I don't know, as soon as you look one, since I don't live woman. Oh, of course, like a patient number woman. If you may, Obi Obejaya, and she said, Minister, when the doctor said, he gave Giorgio, Nani may now to ye, with us.
You heard us. Nana Bonsu.
Hello?
Hello, Nana Bonzo.
Hey, I never chill.
But you know him on TV, so. And I know him on TV, so. And I will on your TV, so.
Hey, Orlando. Who do you know? But I study. Your friend or this about neighbors you.
Ma, me and you are doing.
Orlando, international chairman, as a question of board and national organizer. Na protona string just could ya imagine kakra makers na 2 million cow then you na kanda me kana se pa mo position share me din komo e se ya to ba mamu a muni Ghana fo nya na ye adwuma ababa ko abaideba enti no bia ko se bia wo tuwo se share o ya me wodo o timi asua die enya is the so better free hako e onu enya appointment say appointment ko na ni dwuma die wo die no e so Ghana fo ni eti mu nyai ase yisi CJ and some the same thing. We don't come no man ko I'm to be better about to the power. I'm talking about that. And I'm met me that.
Yo, yeah that's it. Ben, who free? Hello Ben. Hello Ben. Hello Ben. Okay, Mr. Ben Ahumano. Mr. Atiko. Ohwe program here na Nnawotwe program na ohwe no ubetumi afre na wachre wadwen e won nsem a yedi ho enkomo anope enti numbers no na egu screens no so no 2 p.m.
Minia
bacho ofrefi
bacho 2 p.m. kasa free asante mampon
yo mi enti wadwen che
mame mo abaso no djuma pa odi pa wai
medase
na menchi akumase kie mi meyo honorable King Zuba on NDC regional chairman na kwesi Minia, ye besere. She aban ko aban ba. Sa na ma we se ye bejaya, ya Ghana fo na beboaye o. Emre bi obi ye bibi. Ba obi su ye bia. Na ese akwa dane topic kese. She se ya nsesan free sa ye niema bone ne sa ye niema na ye ho a. Ye my Ghana no, Minia, sa na betra wo sa aban bi ba na wutu no fo. E bia yenye bibi se ya because of say the party abanti die. A favor the party for Nkwa, Yabesre ye. Ghana, ye Niko Achiri, Yesia, Senipan Betimia Jumana, Yamane, near say, a politics, party A, party B, say Jaisa and Yamana, Abama Yokuro Ghana, a 2 pompa, Kajabu Mami 2 p.m. upon Macau.
You would say 2 p.m. on a Friday. Also be to me afre now watch your waging. We are Nnawotwe Yi. Hello, Kwaku. Oh, Kwaku, where the Kafra? Kwaku Ahumana. Kwaku Ahumana so, and I say,
that's what I'm so.
You Kwaku Frefi?
A free fabric,
you ain't your drink chair.
Okay, Matty. And by time, Wahumana so.
Wahumana so.
I'm a free fabric,
you, you,
yo, Madame Mastipai war, and come on, Moody and Peter Chairman drink a cry. You, I'm Wahumana so. Okay, Matty. Na me super me chema drink akara won komo na mudi no ho e pa se mo ye adwuma dia boa o my Ghana na me so magin check akara ni se this time no wo hwe senior politicians no react towards young people for na otumu se akara because obu ono ma esan political appointment bi nti no ni di a esan ko de ma peni bi a e woni ni mu no e ya na omotutu sa ni di na se Indiana person me chema say yembo modern na yemfa ni die efata emfa ma yempenifo despite opposition and political party bi ntino wenya ntino yembo modern na yen ko keji sa de no e wo yemranche na maba ne maba wa na maba this time so no akwa bi ti say this time no ni die de ma yempenifo no eso tia na eti na no emu ayen because yempenifo omodi kan ayi bibi na yen a ye fi echi aba no ye tu ya so nti se yamfa ni di ama yempenifo na ebe ma won a won so eba no wa hwa omo so mefa saa na motuo no na won a sisi ano omodi tumi no won aka eba de tie nso at the same thing eba be won anu no emwa yen asoman nti me so ma dwon kaka kan se nyame adom ya position ye ho o political appointment dia yembo mode na se yempenifo no mo ye nim no ebe position e wo so se omo de ne kwampo na yembo mode yemfa ni di fata no yemfa ma won efan minister head ni any seal ni issue oye penny seal no oye penny and we minister with ma fa kwen so na botumi na kasa na tumi eje aso
me ba chwe da se yo hello Rita
But the minister here, from Sobia, Ghana has to health center. After head, in fact, a home treating Nippon. In some of normal work from Munyajima for 44 Munyajima. Yeah, no more for Yajima. But Medasi. You,
Mr. Medasi, in 1 minute, lawyer. You wrap it up in 1 minute. Now, just wrap up and then on all the issues we've discussed, just in 1 minute.
Constitutional provision, my Chief Justice, no. I have great faith in the committee. The committee, no. Akukunda for so. And I'm sure say they will do the right thing. Emrano, look at the exhibits and evidence. Into yeni na yenya butre na Emrano and also yedi. Na yehun so say, and I can assure the Chief Justice that she will have that fair hearing. And it be because it is supposed to be in camera. At the end of the day, everybody will be happy and see the position that will come. 2, I think that Abawo health minister Nenyama way so no. I think that we have learnt our lessons. At the core of it now, Obia Air Kano is Ubuo. Okay. Respect for each other. Ubuo Obia is reciprocal. Mate.
Yo, I'm sorry. Na migumasa muso ansana callers na start event to 30 seconds aka ho de aka. Ohwe bibia minister no ene ne omokoye bibia ekodu ye na yehwehwe se eye boapayo bi na omode eye ye. Nti ohwe a and bibia na omo issue letter say omo afamu si na omoko appoint NDC ni say program no. It tells you say eye orchestrated planner omode esiso. Wa ma